Everything you see online is curated now. How your relationships look, how clean your home is, how amazing your vacation was, even the emotion in your smile.
The moments are being captured for an external audience, not for an internal memory.
That's it, perfectly. The whole purpose of documenting your life has subtly shifted. It's no longer primarily about remembering a moment in its authentic, messy reality. It's about displaying it in its most optimized, aesthetically pleasing two-dimensional form. We are meticulously filtering out any sign of struggle, aging, imperfection, bad lighting,
Right.
anything real.
So if every individual is curating their own life like this, what's the takeaway for the person on the other end, just scrolling through thousands of these posts?
The collective result is a profoundly false cultural narrative. When you absorb this relentless stream of hundreds of these perfect images every single day, the unconscious conclusion your brain makes is that everyone else's life is just better, more radiant, more symmetrical, more effortlessly beautiful, and constantly happy.
You're seeing the highlight reel of millions of people all polished by algorithms to look like a magazine cover.
And we forget that a magazine cover isn't a real person. But the real psychological damage comes from the structure of the comparison itself. It's fundamentally broken.
You call it psychological asymmetry.
We do, and it's a burden our social brains were just never designed to handle. Think about it. You are constantly comparing your candid internal self, your raw, unedited, textured, maybe you're tired, maybe you're anxious, you're dealing with real life. You're comparing that self to their curated selves, which are always perfectly filtered, symmetrical, ideally lit, and only shown in moments of peak aesthetic and emotional joy.
It's a comparison you're designed to lose. You can't win when you bring your reality up against someone else's manufactured ideal.
You can't. Your real internal self will always come up short against their external optimized avatar. And being exposed to this day in and day out, it leads to these completely artificial expectations. Expectations we have for ourselves and that we project onto other people.
We start to believe, on some deep subconscious level, that beauty is supposed to be flawless, that happiness has to be constantly on display, that a good life is a life that looks perfectly symmetrical and ordered.
And this is why it's so important to just reassert reality
Ew.
loudly. Digital dishonesty actively hides these basic truths. Real faces have pores, they have texture, they have uneven tones. Real bodies are soft and have asymmetries and show the effects of gravity. Real lives have messy rooms and bad lighting and long periods of boredom and quiet struggles that nobody ever takes a picture of.
But the tools we use have convinced us that those fundamental human truths are actually flaws that need to be erased.
And that profound disconnect between the manufactured ideal and our physical reality is what sets the stage for the very real, demonstrable psychological harm the researchers are now tracking.